With the recent jellyfish sightings along Maine's coast, safety may be top of mind when you head to the beach.
Joining us this morning to talk jellyfish education is Janet Duffy Anderson, who is the Chief Scientific Officer at the Gulf of Maine Research Institute. Good morning, Janet.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for being here. Why are we seeing jellyfish like the lion's mane this far north?
We are seeing lion's mane because we are seeing some warming waters. We're also seeing some changes in nutrient runoff, which gives rise to jellyfish, and we're seeing some predation on typical jellyfish predators. So that makes jellyfish sightings in Gulf of Maine more common.
Have you been getting calls, or just inquiries more recently about this, especially because we saw, the big one at Willard Beach, and then we also had some sightings of a different type of jellyfish in Ogunquit, I believe, as well.
Yeah, we get calls about jellyfish. They're pretty common. They wash up on beaches. Jellyfish are common to Gulf of Maine. We think we see more of them because of some changing currents and ocean conditions, but they typically do occur in Gulf of Maine. When they wash up on beaches, they obviously attract a lot of attention, particularly the really large one like Gulf of Maine, like lion's mane jellyfish. They're some of the largest in the world, and they can get to be 4 or 5 feet long, and they have really long tentacles. They can be 30 or 40 feet long in tentacles, and so they're attract a lot of attention when they wash up.
Well, you said the water's warming just a little bit, or how much has it warmed that it's causing these jellyfish to be more prominent here?
Well, we have seen some really accelerated warming in Gulf of Maine, so temperatures can be as much as 3 degrees Celsius above normal here, which is one of the fastest warming bodies of water in the world.
Wow. Are there some common misconceptions about jellyfish that you want to let our viewers know about?
Yeah, well, I think one of the most common ones is just the name. Jellyfish are not related to fish. They don't have a backbone, they don't have a spine, so they're not related to fish at all. They're part of a group of what we call cnidarians, and those are more closely related to other types of plankton.
Interesting, and not really related to jelly either, but they look like it.
Exactly.
Are there certain types we could see in our area that people should really pay attention to compared to others?
Yeah, we get a few different types of jellyfish. The most common one that we want to be careful of is the lion's mane jellyfish, which is the one that we saw that washed up last week in South Portland.
That big, bright red one.
The big, bright red one. They have tentacles and they have stingers called nematocysts, and we want to be, particularly careful of them. But then there are other types of jellyfish that are pretty common in Gulf of Maine. Comb jellies, which don't have tentacles, and moon jellyfish is another really common one in our region.
We heard from the Ogunquit fire chief earlier this week, and he was saying that even if jellyfish is no longer alive, it can still sting you. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, even if a jellyfish is washed up and it looks like it's dehydrated and can be dead, the stingers, the nematocysts that have the toxin, and they also have a little barb on them too, they can fire and remain active for hours or even days afterward. Yeah, so if you see a jellyfish washed up on the beach, you definitely want to give it a little bit of space, because even just poking it or prodding it can still result in a jellyfish sting.
And what should you do if you are stung by a jellyfish?
Yeah, if you're on the beach, a good way to take care of that is to get a sand and seawater mixture and kind of spread it on the area, and then kind of scrape it a little bit, like with a credit card. That gets those little stingers and barbs and toxins out of the skin. What you don't want to do is put fresh water on it. That'll actually cause those stingers, more of them, to fire. Yeah.
Do you think that we're going to continue to see more jellyfish?
We will certainly continue to see jellyfish in Gulf of Maine. They're common to our region. They float with ocean currents, and as currents change and bring these animals on shore, they wash up on beaches, and they will continue to be common.
Janet, is there anything else about jellyfish you think people should know, especially in Maine?
Yeah, if you want to find out some more information about jellyfish, check out our website. Gulf of Maine Research Institute has some information on jellyfish. We have a citizen science program, and the State Department of Marine Resources also has a website that has some great information on jellyfish.
All right, you guys do incredible work. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Learn something new. Thank you.
Yes.